Ah, hello again. Back with another video. Nice little 3-video streak. Didn't get to go back and check the timing. Looks like we was honing in around the good 20-30 minute mark. Progress, evolution, patience is a virtue, all that jazz. So let's get down to the last video of the night. So I again return to like a dog returning to its own productions, if you will. Let's watch another Yvette Carnell video. I thought I saw this come up and I was like, oh goody, with all the amazing commentary, some that makes you laugh, some that makes you cry, all the fallout and everything, and just everything from since the weekend, the royal wedding, Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, all the discussions, all the things. You all probably heard so much. I think actually while I was preparing this and doing a little running around before sitting down and do this one, I was rewatching Miss Archduchess, her 15 reasons Black women, too many Black women will miss the Meghan Markle effect. Actually, 15 reasons why many Black women will miss the Meghan Markle effect. And it's really great commentary. And I'm thinking there's been a couple of really cool things that have come out. And I knew just all along I wanted to at least give it a few days, if not just let a week kind of elapse. And let all the think pieces come out, all the videos, all the commentary. I think I might put together a little something. And I mean, there were some really mind-blowing points that Miss Archduchess just made that I wanted to acknowledge that I hadn't even considered. Actually, one thing just maybe a few minutes ago, I was like, I think she's onto something that I hadn't even considered. But anyway, so this is coming from, you can look Yvette Carnell up, Breaking Brown, kind of the whole more Black people empowerment, who get a business, we got to stick together. Not so much having the white supremacy, but just more focused on, all the more economic side of things. I know I did a video on her in the past when the New York Times piece came out and kind of went through that. So I think this is maybe the second time I've ever addressed her. Now, actually, I've watched a couple of her other videos. It's interesting for me to listen to the way Black people think, particularly Black people like this, the people who subscribe and support her and Breaking Brown and what have you. I think she at one time was aligned with Boyce Watkins, so for some reason, so they're coming out more of that school. So, especially considering the significance of Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and this whole situation, I figured this would be definitely a good time to lean in and listen. Now, she spends the first hour doing her kind of commentary, and then she takes calls. Now, I remember this caller from before. I think in my previous video, he must be pretty regular as a call-in person. So he really he goes at it for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes of him just thinking. So I think I'd be better served as letting it play in full, like it's like 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, if that he talks, and they go back and forth for a second within that. Then I'll just go back, pick apart, respond, wrap it up, and then I'll be done with ye. We should be on the same kind of time frame that we've been on for the past 2 videos tonight. Work in progress. So let's jump in. Maybe I'll just go full. Well, we don't need to see her face on full screen. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, and I don't understand why so many people were jumping out of the window for Meghan Markle when she's running from blackness herself. Like, I think the other callers, really brought that up and made that point succinctly. And it was really heartening to hear from a lot of the women tonight on these calls, because I just saw just how so many women, and especially Black women on social media, it's just kind of like we're using like Meghan Markle, Scandal, Halle Berry, Serena, Issa Rae as an escape hatch, not only from blackness, but from Black men in particular. And I was reading this study, this paper. It's called "Shedding Light on marriage. The influence of skin shade on marriage for Black females. Sandy Derry is one of the authors. Eric Hamilton is one of the authors. It's in the article of Journal of Economic Behavior Organization. It came out in October 2009. Google it, go read it. What they found is that the sex ratio of unmarried full-time employed Black males to unmarried Black females was 46 to 100. While the comparable ratio for whites was 90 to 100. And I say that to say this. I think that, just like Antonio said, that these celebrities, such as Meghan Markle, it's being used as a veil because we don't want to deal with this shortage of Black men in society. 46 to 100. There is no individual solution for that. There's a group problem, and I think Black people don't want to deal with it, but Black women, some Black women in particular, don't want to deal with it because there's really only two options to resolve this. You either have to completely overturn white supremacy, get your man out of prison, fight for him to get a job, or you have to completely redefine what manhood means. You have to completely turn gender upside down. The roles have to completely reverse. How many people are willing to do that? And I think in a lot of ways it's a rehashing of Michelle Wallace's Black Macho. Because how she started off in chapter 1, like in the intro in chapter 1, she starts off like the whole thing. She starts off like the civil rights people and the Black Panthers is moving around, but her focus shifts to what some of the Black women were saying in that time period is, I can't get a date. These Black men are talking Black and sleeping white, and we're still having this conversation because we don't want to resolve it. Like, we're not focusing on the systemic issues, but I'm just going to talk about these Black men because I can't get a date. And I just want to say that you cannot run from this. Like that data that came out from the Chetty study is clear. The success of the group is tied up in the men. You got to deal with me whether you want to or not. There is no escape hatch.
What?
There is absolutely no escape hatch. There is not enough white men that are going outside of the group.
No, they really
make up for that 44 out of 100 number. So it's like, it's just a fantasy. Like, I understand that there's tensions between Black men and Black women, and yes, we got to fix that. We harm each other, we hurt each other, but girl, you can't get rid of me. You got to deal with me.
You can't get. Wait a minute, you got to deal with me. What?
If you look at the data and the attitudinal studies, we're more politically aligned. You got to stop buying into this propaganda. Like, girl, politically, I'm your best friend. You got to deal with me. Like I said, you got to deal with it. But in this situation, it's already dealing with us, and we just can't run from it. But that's all I got to say. I know you got
as always. Appreciate you, bro. As always, Reggie. Reggie the truth. As always, I appreciate you calling in because you always bring it. You're gonna have to deal with me, baby. You're gonna have to ain't no escape hatch. But y'all know what I always say. Part of it is you gotta, Black women don't want to hear me, but you gotta take money out of this. We don't have the money. We can't be talking about who gonna take me out, Everybody listen, make some sandwiches and some chips and go to the park and have a conversation and figure out whether you like the person. Like, that changes everything. You'd be surprised how much that changes everything, changes the whole dynamic in terms of expectations in the whole nine. We can't be men, women, and I'm over here and I'm this and I'm straight and I'm gay, but I don't deal with them and it's we just Negroes. We just Black people. And that means we need to make a sandwich and go somewhere and figure out. We don't have the money to be going out here and trying to listen, make a sandwich, go to a nice park, get some chips. If you wanna go have a bottle of wine, Trader Joe's $2 chuck or something like that, $3 or whatever the case. Go somewhere and figure out whether you like the person. Nobody, we don't have, as a community, forget man, woman, whatever. We don't have the money to be spending $30, $40 to figure out whether we like somebody. And then somebody, if they don't like you, they can just get up and walk away because it's just sandwiches. And we ain't got to feel bad. But you got to deal with black people. Like, for a lot of these people, I'm not saying all, we live in the same community, we're going to have.
Okay. I think I think that's the end of it. But I thought I wrote down the timestamp. So I want to make sure we get right back to where we need to be. So give me a second to.
Reggie, hold on, Reggie. We didn't just go from Wakanda. A lot of us went from Killmonger. We were in favor of Killmonger. We went from Killmonger talking about slaves and he was going to die in the ocean. And we went from Killmonger and black liberation throughout the world. He was going to overturn Wakanda, which was a black monarchy. Hold on. You okay with overturning the black monarchy, but you show up for the white monarchy. You better speak on it, Reggie.
I think I went back a little further because, yeah. Okay. Again, for sake of brevity, we're going to just move, stop, because boy, oh boy. So, I can't even fake satire, y'all. Y'all know, I was watching this, like, I was at work. I was like, I'm glad this is like my work computer and my personal computer, because I would have thrown it out the window and her little sandwich just comment at the end. I'll say that for later. Okay, I even made some additional notes while I was just listening to this. So let's just get in. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna stop. Jump in and stop, and then we're gonna be done with this conversation, if you will. Okay.
Exactly. It's like, and I don't understand why so many people were jumping out of the window for Meghan Markle when she's running from blackness herself. Like, I think the other callers, really brought that up and made that point succinctly. And it was really heartening to hear from a lot of the women tonight on these calls, because I just saw just how so many women, and especially black women on social media.
Okay, let's pause there. Now, like I said, we didn't play the whole video. There were some bitter betties and this really snide black woman. Yeah, I mean, y'all just not like her. Y'all, I mean, what y'all think about Meghan Markle? I mean, I don't see why y'all, the typical snide black woman, stick up her ass, just talking all kind of mess out her mouth. So notice how he was so refreshed that black women were basically putting a mammy meal cape. They pick me asses. We're earlier on in this stream with some of the early callers calling in. We gotta stick with the brothers, and Meghan Markle ain't you, and that's never gonna be you. Blah 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 blah. So to that, I will say this is something I might say for. Actually, I'm gonna save this for later because I think this will be more juicy. Basically, well, she can't run away from blackness. Well, she's always really self-identified as biracial. And the funny thing is, Barack Obama always said black, 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 and I'm blackity, black, black. My white deceased mother, and I was raised by my white grandparents, etc. But it is funny because there's been some circles, places where people say, well, so she's trying to run away from blackness. No one says, I'm losing myself on a point there. Yeah, running away from blacks, but she's a biracial woman with a white father and an African American mother. And I think this is a much better served point for later. But I'm glad you were comforted by the black women putting their capes on. You can just not have any opinion about it at all, as a black woman. But the ones who are sitting around doing overtime, calling into shows like this, so Negroes like this black male can be so comforted that black women will stay caping and then being just bitter betties just to, pick up and coddle their little egos. Anywho.
It's just kind of like we're using like Meghan Markle, Scandal, Halle Berry, Serena.
That was Meghan Markle, Halle Berry, Scandal, Serena, ... So Halle Berry, even though she has a white mother and an absentee black male father, by the way, she, for the most part, has always kind of identified herself more as black. And I believe a few years ago, when between the white ex-husband model boyfriend who was the father of her daughter, Nala, there was something that came where she said, my mixed race daughter is black. So what is he insinuating that we've been celebrating Halle Berry for? Now she very openly dated. She has been married to black men, including Wesley Snipes, the baseball guy, and then the singer Eric Benet, who cheated on her with a bunch of women. And then she, took up with this like white model type dude who's about maybe a decade, not that much younger than her, and had a kid. So when we were all just celebrating, but she got her ass whooped a few times. She can't hear in one of her ears, allegedly because Wesley Snipes beat her ass, or the black baseball guy beat her butt. Not sure which one it was. So I mean, maybe we could be celebrating her getting our relationship where she was getting her butt whooped. But again, there's a whole other host of problems there with Halle, so we'll let that go. So big up in scandal. The scandal discussion is the series is closing in, and I think I have an idea for a nice, biggish project for this channel due to the conclusion of that show, where I can discuss this, because black men, even though Kerry Washington, her and Shonda Rhimes, very big Democratic Party players, always talking about more racism, subtle digs at white supremacy, a lot of digs at the right and Republicans. They went all in for Hillary and Obama for the past like I guess a little over 8 years now. But goddamn it, poor Kerry Wash, she's never gonna live that down for doing that show. And Shonda Rhimes never will either. So, they stay so worried about scandal. It's so funny how again, that's something better for me than when I actually just exclusively talk about scandal. So that's another butthurt point of contention for black men like this. What was the last point? So Halle, Serena. Well, Serena, again, another black woman who dated a whole slew of men. She dated that Jewish producer dude. She's dated Common. She dated Drake. She's dated a whole host of men. She dated one of her French tennis instructors or whatever. And so like all these little examples he's running through, it's nice to know what the little sticking points for them are, things that these like names they want to drop in reference, like why were you guys celebrating that long, this Meghan Markle thing. It's good to know. So I should get a t-shirt with all these women in a picture scandal put right on top of it. Thank you. Gave me some great tips.
Away as an escape hatch, not only from blackness, but from black men in particular.
So there's the rub. Oh, the blackness is blackness. Again, as I said previously, I just said in the last video, probably before that, I'll keep saying it. Blackness in the black community in particular, what we really mean is black men anyway by default. And more often than not, black men like this and the whole contingent of them just all up in arms over this whole Meghan Markle thing are really showing their hand. They're really showing their hand, because I just was reading through some of the comments on Miss Archduchess's video. If Meghan Markle, if her mother was white, her father was black, they'd be all march. Instead of taking their money to go to Brazil, they'd have been raising money since the news came out to take their asses over there. They'd be sitting outside of Windsor too, up and down the streets with their flags waving as well. This really gets to the heart of something I think I loosely broached on Friday, that a large part of the discussion about the mixing needs to also happen when we talk about the difference between black men and white women versus black women and white men, and beyond that in terms of discussion. We're talking about who's doing the mixing, who's doing the mixing, and what are the children like on average, particularly in the situation that they're produced in, and how they vary between those two couplings.
And I was reading this.
Oh, let that go. Come again. Yeah, that's the way they're afraid of you running away from them. See, it was fine when Sidney Poitier was telling or was it Harry Belafonte, whichever one that was telling Eartha Kitt that back in the 50s that they wanted to give white women, that black women couldn't do anything for them and for their careers. There was nothing to worry about with them trying to get away from us when they were marrying the Peggy Liptons and making mixed race babies going back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and so on and so forth. So then by proxy of that argument, have you not been trying to escape blackness, and in particular escape black women? Could that maybe be a question that we could maybe ask? Let's just turn the tables around, sir.
Study this paper is called "Shedding Light on Marriage: The Influence of Skin Shade on Marriage for Black Females." Sandy Derrick is one of the authors. Derek Hamilton's one of the authors. It's in the article of Journal of Economic Behavior Organization. It came out in October 2009. Google it, go read it.
Okay.
What they found is that the sex ratio of unmarried full-time employed black males to unmarried black females was 46 to 100, while the comparable ratio for whites was 90 to 100. And I say that to say this. I think that, just like Antonio said, that these celebrities, such as Meghan Markle, it's being used as a veil because we don't want to deal with this shortage of black men.
Okay, before he breaks into that point, so do you know the title of the study? I really don't want to rewind because I want to keep moving through this. The effects of skin shades and color on, I'm pretty sure it just specifically said black women in marriage. Who do you think's creating that? Obviously, it's reinforced by black women. We definitely, as we saw the past few months, the light skin, dark skin debates have, really ripped a nice wedge, a nice hole into a lot of discussions amongst black women online in these communities. But who do you think is at the forefront of light skin, dark skin, BT 1000, light skin edition, dark skin edition? Who's the person pretty much creating and maintaining this like colorism that would have an effect on marriages? So the funny thing that the title was so jarring. I know he wanted the stat that bad to use a reference, but some savvy black woman like myself listening, that's just the one thing that keeps sticking out, that was the title of the study, if he's referencing it correctly. But then he drives into the whole, there's actually the shortage, but then that will lead to another question. Well, why is it? We just look at the numbers, it's like there's more white people on welfare than black people, but what is the proportion? Black people make up a large proportion of their race, numbers adjusted as welfare recipients. You're always gonna have more whites. I don't know how to explain this game. People I roll with understand the difference between the difference between quantity and the difference between proportions. Anywho, let's move it to his next point.
Society, 46 to 100. There is no individual solution for that. There's a group problem, and I think black people don't want to deal with it, but some black women in particular don't want to deal with it because
nope. Yeah, Reggie, you're my brother right here now, because you absolutely get it. I do not want to deal with it. I will not deal with it. I simply refuse to deal with it. You and me, brother, we both on the same page, keeping it 100. So it's systemic, and what are we gonna do about this black male shortage? I don't know. I mean, what we're already, so if there's a shortage, we could put some black women to work just birthing, about 5 or 10, black babies per county, some kind of like extended plan of some sort. I don't know. But then, I thought we were all having too many babies, too many abortions, BT 1000, bastard baby makers, worse stewards of children. So there's a shortage of you, and you need more of you. But again, on the other hand, you're telling me that we're bad mothers, we're worse mothers, worse to children, we have too many abortions anyway. So if I'm having all these abortions, how do I have time to get pregnant and carry a black male child to term to help offset this shortage? I mean, I'm just really confused here. I mean, I'm like literally confused.
There's really only two options to resolve this. You either have to completely overturn white supremacy, get your man out of prison, fight for him to get a job, or you have to completely redefine what manhood means. You have to completely turn gender upside down. The roles have to completely reverse.
Oy vey, dude. See, the branch on my last video or so about the alt-right Jew, how the alt-right and white nationalists going to unite with the blacks to defeat the Jews. That sounded like some goddamn Frankfurt School type of second, third wave LGBT deconstructionism. We have to change what the nature of manhood means and upturn like gender norms and gender roles. Wait a second. I thought what was missing was God, Jesus, the patriarchal black male head of the household, TM, and the woman is there to like lead, to follow her man and let herself be led by the man. So we're scrapping that now, and we're just going to turn over gender norms. I don't know what it's going to look like. Are we going to be called? Are we going to have black communities and families? They all be called Z and Zay and it and they and their. I mean, my head's spinning. But go back to the key thing. This is I have to respond to this tonight. So did you catch that? So returning to the title of the video. Let me just make sure I got this right. Sometimes I forget. How I would get a black man for love and marriage with these simple instructions. Hat tip to Dennis Dale, because you saw I put in the description, you'll see the definition for the word incorrigible, because he said that, and I was like, I know that word, I've heard it before, but I don't necessarily know what it means. And I looked at their antonym. Let's go back to just the definition real quick. Of a person or their tendencies not able to be corrected, improved, or reformed. So now, did you catch that? I'm just gonna back up a couple seconds because this is just too juicy. I was taken aback at this.
No individual solution for that. There's a group problem, and I think black people don't want to deal with it, but some black women in particular, don't want to deal with it because there's really only two options to resolve this. You either have to completely overturn white supremacy, get your man out of prison, fight for him to get a job, or you have to completely redefine what manhood means. You have to completely turn gender upside down.
Isn't that one of the side effects they keep complaining about out with the single moms and black women unmarried raising these homo children and stuff like that? Isn't that been one of the chief rallying cries and concerns the past? Is it really a safe thing to be? Well, he said there was two options. I get it, but under that one in particular, isn't that relatively dangerous considering how like the frogs, we've been making the frogs gay, black women have been making their sons gay on top of it. I think it's a little dangerous in a community, quote unquote, to be overturning gender norms when they're already so fragile due to single bastard baby making black women's child rearing. That's just me. But so again, I don't want to riff too hard on that because there's a little bit more to go. But let's get to the heart of this. So option A sounds simple. Okay, so one, we have to overthrow white supremacy. So I guess maybe I need to do, me and the sisters, we need to take a page from Charlottesville, Richard Spencer. We're gonna look some tiki torches, and we walking up on that white supremacy, yo. So okay, so me and the sisters, okay, tiki torches, some good walking shoes, bring a couple of padlocks and some tube socks, get some guns, money, and lawyers, whatever. Okay, got you. Overthrow white supremacy. I got my 72-hour bag packed. Okay, we got that. All right. Prison break. So we gotta go bang, baby. For the people. We gotta go all bang level, baby. And then we gotta open up all the prisons, the Alcatrazes, the counties, the states, the one the one up the river, the one down the river, from sea to shining sea. Then we gotta walk on these prisons, right? And just open all the doors. I mean, we could probably pay a few people off, get a few master keys, maybe a 6-month concerted operation where we slide in a bunch of toothbrush shivs and stuff in, and get the brothers in there to start chiseling. So when we walk up on it with our tiki torches and our bows and arrows, all Hunger Games, Katniss style, then we breaking them out of the prisons. Okay. Again, walking shoes, good pair of socks. Probably want to pack a couple Cliff Bars. Okay, I could see ETA for overthrowing white supremacy. That'll probably take about maybe a month, maybe 3 months to stay fighting. The prison thing should go a lot easier once white supremacy is dismantled. So it'll probably just take us a month to go from coast to coast, open up all the prisons, get all of our black men the hell up out of them. Okay. And then we gotta go apply for jobs and fight for jobs for them. So we gotta fight in a prison break to get them out. Then we gotta go fight to get them some jobs. So then we're gonna need a whole bunch of big pens. We're gonna be filling applications. We're gonna be typing resumes and going out there, Maybe we should get one of them real, like them baby carriers. We can get one of them real big ones. We can just strap that fucking nigga on our back and then just go around, baby. We go ease on down the road. You know, resume over there, ODPS, go over to the law firm, go over to the Cheesecake Factory. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Okay. So did you just hear this? And the level of delusion I was just able to engage by like just riffing off of that into some fantasy kind of loose plan of action based on this nigga's instructions. Can anybody just comprehend the level? I just think, and that's funny. I mean, that's the nature, I guess, the beauty of life is always the pleasant surprises or just things that'll still manage to shock you. This literally shocked me. Look at her face. That's literally what I was thinking, listen to this at work, and I'm trying to keep my composure and not start shooting things. This is literally, I mean, we can't see his face. This is being said in all, like, seriousness. Like, like a kid will tell you, yeah, Santa Claus is real, and so is the Easter Bunny and Slender Man. Oh, okay. I guess we're doing this. The level of seriousness here, I'm still shocked. I might have more to say about it, but you just heard it, and you heard it twice. Links below. You go listen for yourself again too. This is the 1 minute and like 46-minute mark. I might add that. I should add that to the notes. So anybody wants to go back, you can hear it again for yourself for the third time.
Don't have to completely reverse. How many people are willing to do that? And I think in a lot of ways it's a rehashing of Michelle Wallace's Black Macho. Okay. Like how she started off in chapter 1, like in the intro in chapter 1, she starts off like the whole thing. She starts off like the civil rights people and the Black Panthers is moving around, but her focus shifts to what some of the Black women were saying in that time period is, I can't get a date. These Black men are talking Black and sleeping white. And
hey, man, Reggie from Boston. I mean, it's funny. I don't know. Does he mean to keep giving the game away? And actually, like that. This is why the American legal system is so beautiful in the sense you have a right not to self-incriminate, because there's about 2 or 3 things so far he said that completely undo all the same talking points that I've not been able to not hear for the past like couple years. So talking Black while sleeping white, Black Panthers, Civil Rights era. So we're talking anywhere from 1960 to about maybe 1970, 75 at the latest of these events he's describing. So, well, y'all all got hair weave. That's why we're dating white women. We really find was hair sewing hair weaves or Remy bundles a thing anywhere in that period? That's more of something of the last like maybe 5, 10, maybe 15, depending on where you're at in the country. Thing that Black women really started to do in terms of hair. So you can't say you were talking Black sleeping white then because of the hair weaves. I mean, you still found a few afros around here and there, and people sitting around with a hot comb in their kitchen. So it's not that. So you were already talking Black and sleeping white then. So again, even there's some Black man talking to Cynthia G today. He was giving some of it away. So at least we're getting to a point where even inadvertently they're having to like admit things that destroy this narrative that we've been bombarded with as Black women now for decades, if not longer. But there's never been any real accountability. Well, we all have to help, and we all got to do something. And, we got to help the brothers. We got to overthrow white supremacy, break into prisons, open them up, free the Black men inside, and then apply and advocate for them to get jobs.
We're still having this conversation because we don't want to resolve it. Like, we're not focusing on the systemic issues, but I'm just going to talk about these Black men because I can't get a date. And I just want to say is that
you're going to talk about they can't get a date, but that's the whole damn point. They want to date Black men. They don't want to be dirty race mixers. This is the middle of like a lot of the social upheaval for Black rights. Again, going back to the first video I did tonight, replying to 2 comments, one from Ann Vogelfol and one from email. The problem is and I don't want to go grab it right now because I don't want to go too far off from this. But this we thing, no, it was never a we thing. Once integration came, we see the marriage rates of black men to other non-black women go up and up and up, and women's marriage rates stay stagnant and start to tick down a little bit, tick down even further. You want to talk black and sleek white. Still want to do this today. Who are this we to fix stuff? I think it's the most brilliant short-sightedness. I had a thought earlier. And I was like hanging out at work and I was walking around thinking about making this tonight. It's almost in a weird way the black male collective mind is like China and the one child policy. And so at the time, it seemed like a good thing. And then the emphasis on boys versus girls, for whatever reasons and all the reasons that exist historically as to why that was done. But later on, I mean, it's like they kind of found other ways to correct or slightly offset this, but not completely so. So you wanted to like have only one child, have people have one child. So, but then that's just it. That's it. You have 6 children. Something happened to 1 or 2, you have other ones to fall back on just in sheer numbers. 1 child, something happens, particularly when you, as a parent, are at an age where you can't replace them. Then what do? Then on top of that, selecting boys versus girls. So they look at the gender imbalance that you still see the effects of today in a place like China, where there's too many men who are going to likely go and partner for the next maybe few decades unless they date out or marry out or find some way to resolve that balance. So that's kind of like the black male situation. He wanted to, so where they only wanted one, you have one child. Well, with the black man, he decided, well, I want them to date out, and particularly white women, to get back with this white man, etc., so forth. So I'm just going to do that and not pay attention to the fact that that's less black women who go partnered who are married. If they're not marrying other black men, particularly when they, as a race of women, with their foolishness, still are the ones who most vocal about wanting to date the brothers when the brothers are not making those same types of declarations to them. So then the second half of that is almost like the kind of the Tariq notion. Well, you should only date, or you should put an emphasis on trying to get with biracial women who are the products of white mothers. But again, that's going to the number and balance of what that would create if you were just to run that simulation, to run that calculation out over a decade. So fully black guy gets a white woman, has a biracial child. Then there's going to be a pool of fully black men and boys to choose from these women. But then if there aren't enough black women reproducing them, or they're not reproducing them in the best standards, they're not doing it at all, eventually that becomes not an option because there's no black men left to enjoy the fruits of that labor. It's almost like we just exist to be breeders for dark men, dark-skinned, fully black, chocolate brothers to go live out their lives and fantasies with the biracial daughters of white women. Anyway.
You cannot run from this. Like that data that came out from the check.
Oh, hell yes, I can. It's coming. Yeah, well, you can run from this. Yeah, I can.
The study is clear. The success of the group is tied up in the men.
Hold up. Here, I'll even do it emoji style, Black Twitter emoji style. The success of the group is tied to the male. Really? I thought it was my hair weave. I thought it was because I had a stank. You know what? Oh, I thought I had a bad attitude. I thought it was because I'm raising all the babies to be homos. No, really? So it's tied up in the male. Oh, okay. So then basically a decade of all the propaganda, all the anger shifted in my direction or the black women's direction. It was just all for naught. Okay, well, I guess that's good to know. Wish we hadn't wasted a decade of all the abuse, the anger, the vitriol. I mean, it goes back longer than a decade, obviously, but okay, well, great. So, wow. He's really just dropping the knowledge tonight now, isn't he?
You gotta deal with me whether you want to or not. There is no escape.
Okay. Now, brother, if I was from a demographic of men who had the rape stats and the sexual abuse stats that you all motherfuckers carry. I really gonna be saying something like that. I was sitting there listening to my earbuds earlier today. I was like side-eyed no one in particular with that comment. You have to deal with me. Okay. Yeah, sure. Look at her face right there. That's like me right now. Brother, I really wouldn't use that as a term. You have to deal with me. Wait a second. So, but then when the Jill Scott types and the black women who couldn't keep their mouth shut, can't, why y'all leave us these white women? They blah, 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 blah. You know, you didn't have to deal with us. You called us jealous. And we just mad because the white woman got long flowing hair or she got blue eyes or whatever else you want to keep throwing about why it made her so much better. But you, the same thing was never said to you when you guys were leaving. That you have to deal with us. That you have to stick around with us. Also very telling.
There is absolutely no escape hatch. There is not enough white men that are going outside of the group.
No, there really are.
You see, then they keep doing it. I was like, if we were playing like a game of poker or something, or Texas Hold'em, I don't know. He'd be just, I'd have all his money now. The tails, the giveaways. Now, especially because the whole Issa Rae thing, just 2 weeks ago, it seems like everybody's completely forgotten about that. So news cycle, whatever, or fast news cycle that is, where the whole discussion shifted over to Asian men, which it never really happens at, and they open up that discussion, you know, because of all the variances amongst the Latinos, Hispanics. I mean, there's such a wide swath of them across, like, you know, South America, North America, wherever. I mean, that could have been a discussion. You know, blacks and some varying types of Hispanics have been mixing. Some of them have significant, for whether they come from minuscule to near significant amounts of black Sub-Saharan African ancestry. Funny though, neither of those come up. It goes straight to, well, ain't enough white men, they not know it for y'all black bitch asses. That's basically the subtext of what he said. Because the cattiness, bitchiness, is funny. As a secure man, hopefully, I mean, hope he's married. Maybe he is, and maybe not. But that's how vicious and jealous and pathetic they are. When it comes to them, all these white women, every time they drive down the street and be doing something, every single white woman just wants to jump on their BBC. Anytime you even see them come over to like the Right Stuff.biz or Daily Store or something like very white, maybe white identity, white nationalists, whatever site, and that's the only thing they can come say. That's why y'all black we date y'all when we have sex with white women. Her. That's all they can think about. Who is putting their penis where and in whom and what time? It's so, but then it's the white, not enough white men. How do you know? It's like, it's funny too. Like they hate white supremacy so much, but they know exactly what the white man's thinking, what he will do, what he won't do. I always find that just so telling too, how they can just tell you what the white man is or isn't going to do, and yeah, you're just supposed to fall in line and listen. Like, yeah, okay, but yeah, like, man, that white man leaving do that, no way. But again, I'll just say it very briefly. The funniest thing is not completely about Meghan Markle. It's a lot of this has this the fear, the consternation, the, like, you know, pulling out the electric cattle prods to like make sure they keep these, you know, black women, sheep, cows in line, is like not to look at Doria Ragland and some of the choices she made in a life that, you know, just on the surface, what we kind of just roughly know about her was a different type of black woman's life. So it's not even just the new narrative. It's not no black white men do this anyway. Again, based on what's, I'm not going to engage that one too far. You see the Jedi mind trick bitterness, but let the tables have been turned. And another conversation, every single white woman from the ages of like 0 to like 92 wants to jump on their dick. But let this be, well, it's not enough of them doing no way. But anytime we're here to seriously engage you, you guys are all apparently getting every single white woman's panties wet just because you're a black man. You happen to be within like 30 feet of her. Anywho, back to this lovely masterpiece.
44 out of 100 numbers. So it's like, it's just a fantasy. Like, I understand that there's tensions between black men and black women, and yes, we got to fix that. We harm each other, we hurt each other, but
we harm each other, we hurt each other. You know, if these men who want to lead, like, again, all this fundamentally comes back to, it's like, I can't look at you and you're just constantly whining about something. You're so hurt and wounded. You're the man, you suck it up. Like, you think all the things that are said about white men, from the pink pussy hat type, Tumblr, SJW, I bathe in white male tears or male tears type of tear stuff. You don't really, it's a white men in particular, every race, they just kind of, they have their places where they go back and forth about it. But anyway, but I don't want to go too over into that note, but it's just like, no, it's been niggas like you online for the past decade, flapping your guns about how desirable we are, how attractive we are, how much you can't stand us, how much you hate us. It's a we thing. I can't think of 5 black women who sit and say, who are just the reverse. Well, they say bad things. Like, no, they're not. That's an old argument. I'm not rehashing. Basically, it's just really funny there too. Well, we've done these wrong. We've done things. Again, this black male is never going to be accountable for anything. So yeah, like, am I going to pick one of them or try like? I've already answered this question. I've answered this question like probably 2 decades ago in my life. That's not going to happen. But this again is more evidence of a race of men, or at least this individual reflective of a group that he belongs to that has no sense of ownership and responsibility for anything.
Girl, you can't get rid of me. You got to deal with me.
You can't get rid of me. You got to deal with me. What?
It's called pepper spray, or a nice like 9mm. You can't get rid of me. You gotta deal with me. No, we don't. No. We always going out to talk black and sleep white. We all were leaving the race and still telling people when you get a degree and get some money, you're gonna leave and go someplace else. Oh hell no. I have nothing to do with this situation. I refuse to have anything to do with it. Anyway, we're almost done here. Let's hear Yvette, her like pitch for. You'll hear it in a second. I'm working on a concept line for this.
If you look at the data and the attitudinal studies, we're more politically aligned. You got to stop buying into this propaganda. Like, girl, politically, I'm your best friend. You got to deal with me. Like I said, you got to deal with it. But in this situation, it's already dealing with us, and we just can't run from it. But that's all I gotta say, man. I know you got
as always. Appreciate you, bro. As always, Reggie, Reggie the truth. As always, I appreciate you calling in because you always bring it. You gonna have to deal with me, baby. You gonna have to ain't no escape hatch. But y'all know what I always say. Part of.
Wait a second. Aren't you a lesbian? Like, wait a second. Because someone mentioned this way back when I did the other video about her, because this was actually popped up in a few other places. And this is my theory about someone like Yvette. She's very light-skinned. I don't know if she's biracial. Maybe just very, very light-skinned. Maybe biracial. But from what I understand, she's a lesbian. So you don't have any skin in this game about as far as dealing with the black man and his black phallus. So I have to wonder, is it some defense mechanism? She knows in New York City the lights go out. It's not white supremacy she ever worried about. And the funny thing is, in the lights go out, ain't nobody gonna be able to tell, there's nothing you could tell physically about a woman, in an anatomical sense that tells you she's a lesbian. So when she's trying to make sure there's more, pick-me's and handmaids and dark butts around to maybe kind of for her to hide behind. Because can't nobody tell, that you prefer the tacos versus the hot dogs when the lights go down. And that light skin, and you being around these black folks this black breaking brown community you love so much, you know what happens when it goes down. So it benefits you to have black women that look like me around to hopefully take some of the hits and kind of run interference, so women like you will likely be safe in those scenarios. Now, I thought this was like a while ago in her older videos, and it's a little bit more pertinent to maybe the one I did previously about the New York Times study, the black patriarchy thing. Some of my older videos here in the channel, you can go look. But I've thought that for a while, and then her kind of like advice that she gives here before we close out, I think is so telling in regards to that.
What did you gotta, black women don't want to hear me, but you gotta take money out of this. We don't have the money.
No, the fuck we don't. Whoa. Maybe you can do that. Maybe she got a black lesbian girlfriend. Yeah, then y'all both ain't got no money because you're both black lesbians, and maybe y'all should take the money out of it first. How about that? No, we absolutely do not have to take the money out of it. No. I mean, we're the only race of women that's asked to do this. Everyone else, they're arguing about hypergamy now and red pill and, being alpha and rising to the occasion, et cetera, and so forth. But we're still having these rudimentary conversations about men who basically still telling us since 1950, systemic issues, the jobs left, they got in a car and they drove to Mexico and they never looked back. Just back in the 60s and 70s. And now we really got to leave money on the table. Maybe if they had went and found them jobs that just got up and walked away 50 years ago, they'd actually have some money to bring to the table. No one's asking to go to like Del Frisco's every night, for dinner. But, once a month, maybe go to a nice steakhouse like that, have a meal. I don't know. Like, it just takes money out of it. Yep. So marry down. Thank you, Mammy Yvette Carnell. Thank you for your advice. I will stock that away. So we need to mammy and we need to marry down. Mammy and marry down. Ooh, it's the new Eminem, baby.
We can't be talking about who gonna take me out. Everybody, listen, make some sandwiches and some chips and go to the park and have a conversation and figure out whether you like the person. Like, that changes everything. You'd be surprised how much that changes everything, changes the whole dynamic.
You go have sandwiches and picnic in the park. I bet there's some nice first dates that can go okay. But that's, even if I was dating, that's even if I was open to dating black men, that's probably the way she described that would be the one date that I would never do as a first date. Now, if I met some non-black men, like, okay, maybe we do picnic or just do a coffee kind of get together-y thing. Nah, let me not go over there with that statement. Basically, we're only women told not, like the whole controversy about the $25 engagement rings on Walmart that was running around on Facebook like a month or so ago. We're the only ones expected just to sit here and lower our standards. I'm not saying other women probably don't to some varying degrees go through this, but he's sitting here. Well, we start worrying about the money, but you always tell them we got to get our money back from white supremacy. So we're supposed to sit here and be po and happy. Hopefully, legally married. Maybe we're living on we have a fold out couch and a studio apartment, and we're really just trying to hang on. But we're together, and we'll have some $2 chuck. She said a $2 chuck yet, some sandwiches and a bag of chips, and is that after we do the 3-point plan that we overthrow white supremacy, prison break, and then apply for jobs? Then we'll sit in the park eating sandwiches and chips? Or do we redefine and change the gender norms, then sit in the picnic or park and eat chips? We'll figure that out later.
In terms of expectations in the whole nine, we can't be men, women, and I'm over here and I'm this and I'm straight and I'm gay, but I don't deal with them and cis. We just Negroes. We just black people, and that means we need to make a sandwich and go somewhere and figure out. We don't have the money to be going out here and trying to listen. Make a sandwich. Go to a nice park. Eat some chips. If you wanna go have a bottle of wine, Trader Joe's $2 chuck or something like that, $3 or whatever the case. Go somewhere and figure out whether you like the person. We don't have as a community.
Yeah. Okay. After Tyrone, let me watch some hidden camera footage where Tyrone takes Becky, Ming Lee, or Maria to a park to eat some sandwiches and drink some $2 chuck with chips. Don't forget the chips. When that happens, Yvette Carnell, you let me know. I want to see how that goes. And, I think maybe I should just start a series. Like, maybe I have to start watching her videos religiously now. Just like this should become like a reaction. I could do a whole reaction channel just reacting to Yvette Carnell and her like her black male and female callers. My goodness. So let's see. Anything I missed? Oh, it's systemic. One point he said, "Oh, systemic," and they were kind of going like a little break in the conversation. And I just made a note, like, oh, it was after the whole talking black, sleeping white thing, and I just made a note as I was listening to that, and I'm not gonna filter it. It just says, "What's systemic about lusting after?" Now, just a preview. I'm not disrespecting, disparaging whites. This is literally a phrase I picked up from the Sinji people, and the alliteration. I'm a sucker for alliteration in terms of language, so. bite me. What's systemic about lusting after cave coochie? I made myself laugh with that one. It was a very singy comment section comment. But yeah, so again, it's all systemic. And yeah, what's systemic about that? You've wanted the cave cooch forever. I know, I feel really raunchy using that word. Again, I'll leave it there. I won't keep using it again, so it made me giggle too much. But yeah, so that's systemic. They've all, so if it's systemic and you just were addicted, like one of these women, you can just stop talking about black women. We just go, hey, it's a thing. They really want to be with these other women, but it's my hair weave, it's my attitude, it's my XYZ, but it's just systemic. It's just in the air. It's just like some, pollen floating around that, makes you do what you do. Me, preternaturally evil. You, victim of white supremacy. Everything you do is part of some system. Beyond that, oh, yeah. So it's funny just when he mentioned, oh, you have to suffer me. You got to stick with me. We can't run from each other. Yeah, I made a note. You have Kelsey Grammer, Eldridge Cleaver. I just, again, very similar with these kind of crime stats in terms of like rape, violence, murder. And he said it like 3 times. It just kind of skeeved me out in a sense, like, dude, you really shouldn't be saying this. Anyway, it just came off as weird. Sandwich and chill. Okay. So I think I said everything I wanted to say. This one's so funny. I might have to come back maybe at some other time. But I mean, Yvette Carnell and her Negro flunkies. Like, this is like a high school econ class where these kids are like overachievers, think they learned about stuff. The comment section's funny. The streams are always funny. The people who call in are hilarious, and she just as goofy as they come. So this probably won't be the last time I'll end up doing an Yvette Carnell video because, I mean, the gifts that keep on giving. But I will leave it there. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. I know it sounds cheesy, but I do read the comments. I do respond. I think I said in the last video, I'm thinking about doing it just one time during the week. I'll just kind of read through them and, round up and kind of do a little free flow stream of like comments I received this week. So let me know what you think on this and other videos. And I'm going to let it go here. And I'm going to go get me some shut-eye. So have a good night.